George Eliot remains one of the most penetrating psychological novelists in the English language. She treated fiction as a rigorous discipline, a sacred tool for mapping the most secret, delicate springs of human motivation. She worked within a 19th-century society that severely restricted formal female education, leaving women with very few intellectual avenues. Yet, despite these patriarchal constraints, Eliot aimed her sharpest, most merciless literary critiques directly at her fellow female authors and the enablers who praised them. In her essay, Silly Novels by Lady Novelists, she identified a specific structural problem. Unlike playing the piano, which requires actual technique to avoid a public disaster, novel writing has no built-in barriers to prevent the incompetent from participating. Because anyone could publish, a flood of feminine fatuity swamped the literary market. Eliot viewed this trend as a direct attack on the public perception of women's intellectual capacity. To demonstrate the scale of this mediocrity, Eliot approached the problem like a scientist, building a formal taxonomy of bad literature. She classified the silly novel into 4 distinct species: the mined and millinery, the oracular, the white neckcloth, and the modern antique. The largest and most common of these is the mined and millinery species. These stories feature peeresses who wear perfect dresses, boast flawless morals, and can supposedly read Hebrew, yet constantly mangle basic English in their own dialogue. These authors write from elegant, isolated boudoirs. They have no concept of the working classes and rely on a completely fabricated version of the high society they attempt to depict. By filling their pages with impossible aristocrats, these writers expose their total detachment from the authentic human experiences fiction should capture. The taxonomy moves next into the darker, more pretentious corners of the literary market. Eliot identifies the oracular species as the most pitiable. Here, authors with a profound ignorance of both science and life attempt to solve the most complex religious and philosophical problems of the age. Examining novels like The Enigma, Eliot notes how these writers use bombastic, vague, and hysterical language to mask a lack of true intellect. Then there is the white neckcloth species, the evangelical variant that replaces dashing heroes with boring, insipid young curates. These novels operate as snobbish tracts for the middle class, prioritizing the preaching of gospel over any attempt at engaging storytelling. Finally, the modern antique species features mediocre writers who force modern sentimentality into the mouths of ancient historical figures. Across all 4 categories, the failure is the same. These authors treat literature as a superficial vanity project, resulting in total creative bankruptcy. Beyond the satire, Eliot is addressing a severe cultural fallout happening in the real world. These vapid books are actively mischievous because they confirm the worst prejudices of 19th-century men. When a male reader encounters this literature, it provides him concrete evidence to claim that women's minds are inherently too shallow for real education. The enablers of this crisis are the chivalrous male critics, who patronize women by praising mediocre work out of a false sense of gallantry. This ecosystem of bad writing and fake praise creates a dangerous trap, robbing female authorship of true prestige and keeping women intellectually subordinated. Eliot maintains that women are inherently capable of producing the most profound novels in existence. She cites the work of Harriet Martineau, Charlotte Bronte, and Mrs. Gaskell as proof of what serious female authorship can achieve. Her mandate is clear. Society must stop treating women's writing as a product of busy idleness and begin demanding actual excellence. True respect and literary equality can only be achieved by holding women to the exact same rigorous, unyielding critical standards as men.